Good morning, everyone. Today we've got a really important thing to do, and that is motorcycle training. So this is a course, an advanced riding course. I believe it's a level 1 run by Smart Rider Academy here in Queensland, and I thought I'd take my Harley Davidson on that ride for the first time. I thought this would be a good opportunity to test my skills and also take some instruction from the instructors there and maybe learn a few things. So before we get started, I'm going to check my bike out, make sure it's safe to go, and then we're going to get underway. Let's go. Alright, so I've checked out the bike. It's time to go. I'm going to get my jacket on over here. I've got my helmet over there. Time to get ready. And let me tell you, I am nervous. And that's okay. It's been a little bit uncomfortable. That helps you grow. So to say I'm not nervous would be a lie. So I am a bit nervous about this. It also is run by Smart Academy, which Smart Riding Academy, and I think there is Queensland Police riders there, so that's fine. You just have to make sure your bike's roadworthy, but you should be good. I think my bike should pass that in flying colours. Anyway, let's get going. Okay, so I've arrived at the riding location, and I've just basically got off the bike, went to the area where we all grouped up, and just basically said hello to a few people. What are they doing there? What are they actually trying to learn? It was really cool. I was very interested to see how many other Harley Davidsons were going to be there. There was 3. There was a breakout, the Harley Davidson 500 Street, I think it was, and my bike, and a lot of other then sports bikes and touring bikes. So that was actually really cool and quite a big turnout. So that was interesting. It was great to chat to a few other people as well. Another guy I was talking to, he had a Royal Enfield. So I really got a chance to actually meet with other riders and talk to them about what they were doing there, what did they want to get out of it. That was really cool. Actually, it was one of the things I really enjoyed about the day was actually meeting some of the other riders there, which was awesome. Now, for the first 2 hours of the day, I think it was 2 to 3 hours, basically we were in a room where we did some training, just visual training with videos and content around motorcycle safety. Now, some of the things I think I took away from that, and please don't take anything I'm saying as instruction. I'm not an instructor. This is my interpretation of what they said, but please don't take this as the training, because it's not. This is just my interpretation of what I took out of it. So from here, we're actually going to go into some low speed maneuvers. There wasn't a huge amount. I would have liked to do more of that, but that is what the course was. It was just some basic maneuvering. We'll have a look at that and I'll show you what we got up to. Okay, so here the idea is to just do some slow speed drills. So this is just trying to go slow, like around about a walking pace. Just going past here, keeping your feet up off the ground, and just not losing control of the bike. Just sort of trying to be a bit slower, making sure you've got slow speed control in a straight line. You can see here it was actually pretty busy as well. It's already a bit of a line here, so there was a little bit of waiting involved in maneuvering through some of the exercises. So here what we had to do is basically maneuver around a few cones. It was basically just left and right through here. And the whole idea here is to use your head and eyes to look out to the next cone before you're actually getting to it. So it's just kind of planning to look forward. Using your head and eyes to maneuver around the cones. And this last exercise is basically doing a U-turn. This is probably the one that I struggle with the most at the moment. I'd like to do a lot more work on. So it was just doing a U-turn around a cone. You can see the blue cone there, so I'm just going to try to look at that. I feel like I'm not looking back far enough. You can see I've kind of maneuvered out pretty wide because I don't feel comfortable doing it in a short radius. So definitely a bit of work to do there. So that was one of the things I definitely would like to do a bit more practice on, is U-turns, feeling a bit more comfortable with the bike, a little bit more of the lean at that slower speed, and I guess head and eyes looking around. And then we basically go back around and do the same exercises again. Here you can see the instructor's just telling me to slow down a little bit more, but he seemed to be pretty happy with my slow speed drill overall, so that was good. And one thing you always got to consider when you're doing these courses, it's possible that you're going to drop your bike. Unfortunately, we did have a rider drop their bike just here. One of the ladies, she was just lining up for the slow speed section, and she dropped her bike. Fortunately, there was no damage to the bike, and she was unhurt, which was really good to see. But yeah, it's just one of those factors is, you know, if you're going to be doing some of these low speed maneuvers, sometimes you're going to drop your bike, and that's just part and parcel of it. So just be aware of that. So here they are. I believe that was her partner on the breakout. He was helping them get the bike up, and like I said, fortunately there was no damage on the bike, and everyone was fine, and she was she was okay too, which was good. And yeah, she was quite happy then. Obviously, there was no damage. So just keep that in mind if you're doing any of these courses. Just try to take as many precautions as you can to keep your bike ready for it to drop. Like I have the drop guards on mine, but yeah, everyone was okay, and that's the main thing.
To have a Ninja that looked a lot like that.
What's that, sorry?
I used to have a Ninja that looked a lot like that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, 92.
Yeah.
ZXR 750.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was I think it was my second road bike.
Yeah, okay.
Here I just mentioned to this other rider that has this Kawasaki that, yeah, I had a Ninja that looked very much like this. I believe this is the 40th anniversary colours. So I really liked that bike, and it really reminded me of my ZX7 Ninja that I had back in early 90s. So yeah, we had a bit of a chat about that, and he was a great guy, and yeah, he was really cool. We had a bit of a chat about bikes and talked about the Harley and his bike as well. And yeah, really good meeting the people there. That's one of the things I enjoyed a lot when I was there. Okay, so we've finished the area of the course where we're doing the slow speed maneuvers. Now we're going to actually do a trip out to Mount Me. So this was pretty cool. We actually were divided up into groups of 3, and I'll talk through some of the areas that we went through, but we're just basically breaking up into groups of 3 here, and I'm just getting on my bike and looking over to my left. There's a group over there, so we're going to be heading over there and joining that group and riding out up to Mount Me. So there is a bit of a ride. I'm going to be just highlighting some of the key things. We do make a couple of stops along the way, so I'll try to include maybe more of the interesting stuff and a little bit of the riding so you can enjoy the scenery. Unfortunately, I didn't have a microphone for the ride, so I'm kind of doing this voiceover after the fact, so hopefully I can make that entertaining while not making the video too long. So here's a classic danger area where you've got this car turning right in front of you, or left if you're in the States. So this is kind of one that I really look out for. Usually I tend to slow down. So and then we also, just to get the group back together, we actually pull off into this little parking bay. Just get everyone grouped back up together, make sure everyone's there. We had the 3 groups. So we just pull in here for a minute and just group everyone back together and get ready to go for the next leg. So here's where I was just pulling out of this bay. I looked to my right, and what I didn't know is this lane was ending. So I was coming out, and then I'm like, hey, there's a car right there. So yeah, I just accelerated from that point, but everything was fine.
Pretty windy today, eh?
But then once you get out to the exposed section, where you're on riding the ridge, basically,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
going to get super
A lot of wind.
windy.
All right, cool, mate.
I may not go past that point.
Yeah.
See, your bike's brand new though, isn't it?
What's that?
This is virtually brand new, isn't it?
No, it's actually 6 years old. I only just, it's new to me, 5 months, but yeah, it's not new.
And I was looking at it going, no, she must have got it like a month ago. It's just, you're okay?
Yeah, yeah, I'm cool.
Okay, so while we're enjoying some beautiful scenery of me riding my Harley Davidson up the mountain, up to Mount Me, I'm going to talk about some of the key things that I took away from the course. We can enjoy some of the scenery and hear some of my thoughts. So let's start with the first one. Now I think the first one, and I think we all know this is kind of somewhat obvious, but maybe not as obvious as what you might think. But obviously your speed is going to have a big impact on the braking. So doubling your speed is going to quadruple your stopping distance. So I thought that was really interesting. They showed this up on a graph. I thought that was really interesting. So doubling your speed can quadruple your stopping distance, and you've got to factor in your reaction time as well. The other thing to think about is your reaction time for the braking. Now, if you're doing 100 kilometers an hour, you're going to take about 1 to 1.5 seconds to even react before you even get onto the brakes. And you're going to cover about 40 meters in that time frame. So that's about half a football field, which is quite frightening if you think about it. So you need to really think about that when you're braking. So it's going to take you about, I believe it's around 98 meters or around 300 feet braking from 100 kilometers. Now the other thing is your braking performance over time. So what do I mean by that? And I'll try to explain this as best as I understood it. So your braking is not linear from when you start braking in terms of your speed. It's not a linear line. It's not going to be just straight down. What's going to happen is it's going to come down, and towards the end of your braking, you're going to wash off speed more quickly. So it's just something to keep in mind as you're getting closer to something, as you're braking, you're going to be washing off more speed as you get closer to the stopping distance. And I'll see if I can show a graph here from, I think it was UK Superbike School. I'll put it here so you can see what I'm talking about. Now the other thing I took away from the course, and they covered a whole range of things, but this is one of the other things I took away, was being able to corner correctly out on the road. So we're not talking about race track riding here, because obviously that's probably going to be a lot different on how you execute the corner. We're out on the road, there's hazards, there's other vehicles. We only have, we have a 2-lane road a lot of the time when we're riding through corners of mountains. So we need to ride a bit differently. One of the things that they spoke about was being on the outside of the corner. And the reason that you're going to do that is to give yourself more visibility through the corner instead of riding tight on the inside. The whole objective around this is to try to give yourself 6 seconds of vision in front of where you are, and that's going to give you enough time to be able to react to a vehicle potentially coming onto your side of the road, potentially seeing sticks or hazards on the road as well. So you have enough time to be able to react and maneuver your motorcycle away from potential hazard. Okay, so here we're just about to pull into another stop, which this is kind of the end of the trip for me. But when we got here, one of the guys had actually hit a stick. There were quite a lot of sticks because it was quite windy on the day. So we're just going to pull in here, and on the left-hand side, you'll see the unfortunate, you can see some oil on the ground there actually. And the guy here, he was on a Honda. Unfortunately, a stick had come up and hit underneath his bike. And that's what they were doing there on the ground, and oil was literally just pouring out from the bottom of it. So unfortunately he was kind of stuck and had to organise a way to pick up his bike. We just kind of pulled in here, had a bit of a catch up, decided where we were going to go. There was another stop after this, but it was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I thought it was time for me to probably head back. I was pretty happy up to this point to sort of start heading home, because it was still going to be at least another hour to get home from here. And I kind of finished my trip here, but we just do a bit of a catch up with the rest of the team before I go. Okay, so there we have it. That was my day out. Now there was another whole bunch of video I had riding back through. We finished up there at the top of the mountain and we sort of just headed back. I headed home. It was at least another hour's ride back home from there for me. So I sort of called it. We could have went a little bit further, but that was it. Anyway, I'd had so much fun by that time. I enjoyed talking to a lot of the guys that were there. It was really good fun. I mean, I can't wait to do another one. It was really great. So definitely looking forward to getting involved with more groups of riders, because I just don't know anyone who rides. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much for watching. All the people that have subscribed, thank you. I really appreciate that. If you're just tuning in and you're watching the video for the first time, thanks just for watching. I understand if this is not your thing and you don't want to subscribe because you're probably not going to watch this. I get that. I do that too. I just appreciate you all sticking around, watching when you can, and giving a like and subscribe if you can. I really appreciate it. All right, that's it. Stay tuned for my next Harley adventure or modification or whatever it is I decide to do. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.